reflection on Agatha Christie's novel, Murder on the Orient Express. Hi everyone, welcome back to SleuthPages channel. If you're someone who loves books, mysteries, or that feeling of sitting still while your mind travels across distant places, then today I have a very special train ride for you. It's Murder on the Orient Express, one of the most famous detective novels by Agatha Christie, the queen of crime herself. And don't worry, this video is completely spoiler-free. I'll only share what it feels like to read this book, the atmosphere, the emotion, and why it's one of the most unforgettable mysteries ever written. Before we hop aboard, if you enjoy videos about books, storytelling, and classic mysteries, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because I truly believe every good book deserves to be shared. When I first picked up Murder on the Orient Express, I thought, okay, just another detective story. But no, it's different. From the very first pages, Agatha Christie builds a world that's so distinct, so vivid, elegant, cold, mysterious, yet oddly comforting. Picture this, a luxurious train rushing through snowy European landscapes. Inside, polished wood, golden lights, people from all over the world, each with their own secrets. Just that image alone already feels magnetic, doesn't it? You can almost hear the wheels clattering over the rails, smell the faint scent of perfume and tea, and sense that behind every polite smile, something dangerous is quietly waiting. That's what makes this novel special. The contrast. It's warm but cold, elegant but tense, calm but full of unspoken fear. And that duality gives Murder on the Orient Express its timeless charm. If you've read Sherlock Holmes, you might be used to mysteries that rely on logic, action, and physical clues. But Agatha Christie, she plays a different game. She writes mysteries that are really about people. In Christie's world, every crime has a reason, and every reason has a human heart behind it, full of pain, love, fear, or guilt. Murder on the Orient Express is a perfect example. Christie doesn't just focus on who did it, but why they did it. She takes us deep into psychology, exploring what drives ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And as you read, there's a strange moment when you realize the line between right and wrong, good and evil, might not be as clear as you thought. That's when you understand that Christie's books aren't just detective stories. They're studies of the human soul. One of the most brilliant parts of Murder on the Orient Express is how every passenger feels like a complete, living character. Each of them, from the quiet ones to the chatty, from the refined to the rude, feels real. And each one seems to carry something hidden, something they'd rather no one else find out. They're like puzzle pieces scattered across the train, and together they form a picture you can't see until the very end. And then, in the middle of it all, stands Hercule Poirot, the famous Belgian detective with the perfectly waxed mustache and the razor-sharp mind. If you like clever characters who are also slightly quirky, you'll love Poirot. He's logical, observant, and always polite. But underneath that, there's warmth, compassion, and a deep sense of justice. What I admire most about Poirot isn't just his brilliance, it's how human he is. He doesn't chase truth just for the sake of being right. He seeks justice in the truest and most moral sense of the word. That's what makes him unforgettable, What struck me most while reading wasn't the mystery itself, but the atmosphere. That feeling of being trapped in the snow in a luxurious train with no way out. It's quiet, but not peaceful. Safe, but not really. Every little sound, a footstep, a door creaking, suddenly feels suspicious. And outside, the snow keeps falling, soft and endless, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Reading this book feels like being there. You're not just a reader anymore, you're another passenger. You're sitting across from Poirot, watching faces, listening to conversations, and wondering, could it be? Then, that's the power of Christie's writing. She doesn't just tell you a story, she pulls you in. Murder on the Orient Express isn't just a novel, it's an experience. When I closed the book, what stayed with me wasn't the crime or even the solution, it was the moral question behind it all. Christie doesn't shout about justice. She simply asks, what would you do if you were in their place? And that's the genius of her storytelling. She doesn't tell you what to think. She makes you think for yourself. Murder on the Orient Express is about more than a murder. It's about humanity, morality, and how far people will go when they believe they're doing what's right. It makes you wonder about empathy, about judgment, and about the fragile balance between justice and mercy. It's the kind of story that makes you sit quietly afterward, not because you're scared, but because something inside you understands. If you haven't read this book yet, please do yourself a favor, don't look up summaries online. Let the story unfold the way it was meant to, step by step, question by question. Every page has a tiny clue waiting for you to notice. And when you finish, you'll understand why this story is considered one of the greatest detective novels ever written. But if you have read it, no spoilers in the comments, okay? Instead, tell me this. What did you love most about it? Was it the atmosphere, the characters, or that deeper message hidden underneath? I'd love to hear what you felt after reading it. Murder on the Orient Express proves that intelligence and emotion can coexist beautifully in a detective story. It doesn't need action scenes, special effects, or blood. Just words, psychology, and empathy. With nothing more than her pen and understanding of human nature, Agatha Christie created a story that has lasted for generations, a journey that feels both thrilling and profound. And maybe, just maybe, each of us should take that train once in our lifetime. To listen to the quiet hum of the wheels, to watch the snow fall beyond the window, and to ask ourselves, what is truth? Thank you so much for staying until the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves mysteries. I'm SleuthPages, and I'll see you on the next train ride, where every story has a secret waiting to be discovered.